Yeah, I think he's incredible. It's pretty easy to, the first time you saw, I think he also made his debut on my debut card. The first time you saw Tom Aspinall fight, you knew there was something special. He's almost the next generation of heavyweights.
Dricus du Plessis is flat out saying Tom Aspinall is redefining the heavyweight division with his speed and skill. Moves like a middleweight. Du Plessis isn't just hyping him up, he truly believes a new heavyweight era is starting now. Dricus du Plessis is raving about Tom Aspinall. He's calling the guy incredible and straight up the next generation of heavyweights, saying he moves like a middleweight but with every skill in the book. Du Plessis is convinced Aspinall will be a long-time champion, flat out admitting he doesn't see anyone else on his level right now.
Yeah, I think he's incredible. It's pretty easy to, the first time you saw, I think he also made his debut on my debut card. The first time you saw Tom Aspinall fight, you knew there was something special. He's almost the next generation of heavyweights, in my opinion, where he moves like a middleweight. He's light on his feet, he can grapple, he can strike, he can wrestle. So, I'm really happy for him. I think he's going to be a great champion, and I think he's going to be a champion for a long time. I don't think there's a lot of heavyweights, if any, on his level right now. I think he's a great guy. I've spoken to him quite a few times. He's a great guy, and I think he's going to be a great champion.
Adding further intrigue to the mix, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane is officially confirmed to headline UFC 321 on October 25th, 2025 in Abu Dhabi. MMA savvies wish for a massive English versus. French showdown has been granted, albeit not in Europe, as initially hoped, playing up that old rivalry and European hatred as the perfect backdrop for what he sees as the fight to make.
Also, the big question is, who does Aspinall get? And I'm thinking it's gotta be Gane. Even though I feel like Volkov won that Gane fight, the judges didn't agree with me, so it has to be Aspinall Gane in Europe somewhere, because it's the Frenchman versus the Englishman. Don't forget about that old rivalry and European hatred there. Maybe in London or in Paris, that's the big fight to make.
However, not everyone is on board the Aspinall hype train. Cyril Gane's coach, Fernand Lopez, is taking shots at Tom Aspinall here. Lopez is practically daring us to dig into Aspinall's past, especially his grappling background, because he thinks we'll find some interesting stuff. But trust, he's got Cyril's back 100%, saying they're gonna roll up with a game plan that'll get the job done in what's sure to be a wild fight.
I think Tom is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, he's one of the best. If it's not, he's one of the best. But I just want to let you know that people, they tend to overreact and overrate someone very quickly, and they don't measure that, okay, let's check, really check. You guys are telling us that this guy was doing BJJ very long time when he was teenager. So during all this time, what title did he get on the BJJ or grappling? Did he won any ADCC? What did he, what happened? So I think that we need to be a little bit careful of what you're saying. And obviously, you know that I will not tell you right now what I'm saying as a whole. What I just know is that if we are taking this fight, we are pretty sure that, Cyril can pull this out.
Furthermore, Fernand is laying it all out there, refusing to call the upcoming Aspinall fight Cyril's last chance. He's all about learning from every grind, especially the screw-ups. Lopez gets super real, even dishing on the Francis Ngannou fight, where Cyril underestimated Francis's raw power on the ground.
When Cyril becomes champ, he can keep trying to go for defending the title, or maybe going around and try to fight if he lost the title. But let's just focus on Thomas Aspinall, and let's just focus on what will happen that day. And this is what we're trying to do right now. I'm not thinking, I don't want to put even more pressure on my guy, telling him this is your last chance to have this title. It's not about title. It's about the journey. It's about what did you learn on this? Like we met I made some mistake. He made some mistake. This poster that I have here in my background, I keep this poster there to remind me I made some mistake, and I had 2 times the chance to become champ with Cyril Gane, and we miss it. And we own that mistake, and we learn from that mistake, and we will make sure that we use that as a motivation and win this fight.
Against Francis, what was the mistake?
Well, the mistake was that I didn't make it to convince my guy that Francis will take him down. You heard Cyril saying that in the interview that I said that to him maybe 100 times. But he said that he was convinced that even he get thrown down, he would submit Francis because he felt like his ground game.
Continuing the narrative, Tom Aspinall isn't pulling any punches, laying out that his showdown with Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi on October 25th marks their 4th time being paired up. Aspinall's making it crystal clear, this isn't just another bout, he's aiming to get rid of Cyril Gane from the title picture for good, especially since this is Gane's 3rd crack at the belt.
This is the 4th time me and Cyril have been matched up together. 25th of October, Abu Dhabi. Me and Cyril, this is Cyril's 3rd title shot, so we are going to try and get rid of Cyril Gane from the title picture for good.
While Chael Sonnen has expressed confusion regarding Tom Aspinall's interim heavyweight title status, specifically questioning the rationale behind a potential title rematch when Aspinall's current interim belt has not yet been unified. He's throwing it out there for anyone to explain that Tom got stripped, saying it's way tougher to answer than you'd think. Sonnen admits he's cool with the Aspinall-Gane fight, but what he's buzzing about is the wild drama that's gonna spill out after it.
He's got to do a rematch when he hasn't even defended the belt yet. How do you put Tom in a spot where he's got to do a rematch when he hasn't even had the belt yet? Right? You get it in paperwork, and I mean, do they even send you another belt, or they just tell you, hey, that belt that you have, that interim belt, that's now the undisputed belt? I mean, right? Like, there is some actual questions here. You want to be a really smart guy and you want to impress Chael? Tell me why Tom is no longer interim champion. Put that into words for me. I'm serious. Explain to me why Tom was stripped of a title. It's not as easy of a riddle as you might think. And when I look at Tom versus Cyril, I like the match. But I love the potential fallout from the outcome of the match much more.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping characterizes Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane as the heavyweight division's equivalent to Georges St. Pierre, highlighting their exceptional athleticism. But he's quick to point out Gane's glaring weakness, his grappling. Aspinall, who's been doing jiu-jitsu forever, is going to exploit that. Still, don't sleep on Gane's striking. Bisping says it even made Francis wrestle.
Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight Georges St. Pierre. That kind of goes to Cyril Gane as well. The man's gigantic, he's very quick, he's agile, he's light on his feet. He could have done any sport on the planet. And he's almost like Georges St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against John Jones, and that's probably what's going to cost him against Tom Aspinall. You never know, he could clip him. This is a dangerous fight, this is heavyweight MMA, but Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down, show him what you can do, show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Cyril Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet.
Doubling down, Chael Sonnen's not holding back when it comes to Tom Aspinall's next fight. He's saying Tom's got to do more than just win. He needs to dominate Cyril Gane, and he needs to do it at think John Jones level speed. It's a crazy amount of pressure, but if Tom can pull it off, his invincible status is only going to get crazier.
And I do feel that it's hard to recreate an environment that will put more pressure and more on Tom to not only win, but to perform. Tom's not got to just win, he's got to win fast. That's not reasonable. Tom and his trainers can't work that out. Tom can't train, he can't eat, he can't sleep, he cannot prepare himself to get rid of Surreal. Oh, and by the way, he's got to do it in under 4 minutes like John Jones did. Like, I'm just saying, it's not a realistic situation. But it's still the situation that he finds himself in. Now, I'm excited about that. And I believe when Tom comes through that, this vision of invincibility that we've created for Tom will become more true. But to act as though, right? I mean, Tom was getting ready to fight the GOAT at Madison Square Garden in what would have been the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, possibly the biggest fight of all time. I don't believe when the final numbers came in, it would have beat Khabib and Conor, but many people think that it was. So when you go to something different and something smaller, there's a real letdown. But you can't be let down. You got to rise. And he's got to beat Surreal, and he's got to do it easily. And for Coach Lopez to come out publicly and stick that right on Tom's back was very accurate, but it was also a very wise thing to do.
Echoing that high energy, Daniel Cormier is hyped for the Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane showdown at UFC 321. And get this, even with Aspinall being the clear favorite, Cormier isn't buying all the hype. He's seriously convinced this fight is going to be a much tighter contest than what the odds makers are saying. We finally got Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. We've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane fight for a long time. It's happening at UFC 321. The odds are Tom Aspinall minus 325 and Cyril Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe that it's a close fight. I don't agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. At the same time, Matt Brown is not holding back when it comes to Tom Aspinall's next fight. He's laying it all out. This isn't just some regular match. For Aspinall, it's about his legacy and the entire heavyweight division's reputation. Brown's saying if Tom doesn't absolutely dominate, or even if it's a super tight decision, the division, which is already on shaky ground, could take a huge hit. And you, John Jones, are somewhere glued to his screen just waiting for any sign of weakness.
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight, or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something, like, the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. You know, with Gane getting his third title shot in a couple years, like, Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. You know, he has to prove that to the world. Like, I am, you know, the heavyweight division's not just, but like, I'm so good that the heavyweight division, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world. And if he goes out there and loses to Gane, you know, the division already is not respected. That brings Tom down significantly, I think, right? And of course, you know, the potential John Jones fight, which is whatever, who knows, right? Like, how he beats Gane, assuming he does, may play a factor too. Like, if it turns out to be a close fight, again, John's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like, just waiting for Tom to and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit, or, you know what I mean? John can't wait for that moment.
Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane isn't just a fight, it's a legacy-defining pressure cooker showdown that'll flip the heavyweight division on its head at UFC 321. No matter what happens, the scene's never gonna be the same.